Oh, there you guys are. Happy Friday. This is Kurt Von Annen, the Mañana no Mas morning check-in. It is still morning, so it is the Mañana no Mas morning check-in. And thrilled to see you. It's Friday. It is October 8th, 2021, and we're finishing up a good week. This week in particular has had a couple of but what's cool about that is, especially coming from an entrepreneur mindset, is that you have to be able to endure this and plan for this, right? So you're shooting for this, but it is this, and you have to not, you got to ride the wave, but you really can't let yourself get stuck at those bottom valleys too long. So there are a couple of obstacles, things with the internet for sure. Facebook didn't really throw a wrench at me this week, but it threw a wrench at some of my clients. And let's be honest, it's actually a benefit for me because one of our main core products is a thing called the Challenge Connection. And it's about taking your online challenges off of Facebook and putting them onto your own property, and then just using Facebook as one of the nets that brings the audience to the challenge. And so we have this thing called Challenge Connection. And people can sign up for that. It's a subscription service. They own their challenge property. It's theirs. They name it. They own it. They own all the data in it. And they're able to organize their challenges in order of activities rather than like that first in, first out file like a Facebook page would be. And it makes things more organized. It allows you to take in a lot more challengers and keep them organized throughout the challenge. And it also gives you the ability to manage your users, as in export all of your users to a CRM, email them, text them, SMS message them. You can monetize your challenge through our product. So there's a lot of cool things there. And when Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and everything just kind of went, it heightened everything that I've been talking about with the Challenge Connection. It made it more relevant. And so that part was that's a high, right? A low is that we haven't had anyone subscribe to it this week yet. And so, you're always looking at, how do you drive awareness without being snide? How do you sell to people without being too salesy? How do you, these are things that come up all the time. Now, the other side of the coin, the whole month of September, we're really pushing our other project, which is the Powersport Academy. Now, what's unique about Mañana no Mas, and I'll just say it the way that makes sense to me, right? People will say, well, how can you have a school that teaches service writers and service managers something, and how can you have Challenge Connection, and how do you stay focused on this? Doesn't make sense. There's too much going on here, and it's like, well, hold on, if you're a man and you go to Harbor Freight Tools, are you ticked off that they have, air compressors and screwdrivers? Or are you happy that they have air compressors and screwdrivers? And maybe I'm making this too simple, right? You go to the mall and you go to, a sneaker store. They got sneakers and flip-flops, right? And you're like, well, which is it? Are they athletic shoe store or are they a casual flip-flop store? You go to Target and they got everything under the sun, right? So I don't want to be everything under the sun to everybody, but here's the deal. Mañana no Mas specializes in membership and learning websites. The Challenge Connection uses a combination of membership and learning tools to build the perfect challenge website. So it's great for running your challenges. So Mañana no Mas and Challenge Connection directly aligned in what they do. Now, Mañana no Mas built the property for the Powersport Academy. So the membership and learning site that the Powersport Academy uses is a product of Mañana no Mas. So that's the alignment there. And of course, I've got 35 years of power sports experience. And so that just blends really, really well with what we do as an all-encompassing thing. So that's that. Folks, it is Friday. I hope that you're finishing the week strong. I hope that you are excited, to have a good, relaxing weekend and then hit it strong next week. We've got, a handful of dealers looking at the Powersport Academy, so I'm excited about that. We've got a new membership and learning project coming up starting next week, so we're pretty excited about that. And yours truly is going to be the guest on a podcast being recorded this afternoon. So I love that. I love when someone else that owns a podcast is like, hey, I'd really like to get your message out to my people, or I'd like to, I would like to spotlight you for my audience. I love doing it. It's fantastic because when I host my podcast on the Mañana no Mas podcast, the Mañana no Mas podcast takes the opportunity to profile and spotlight other people, not talk about Mañana no Mas the whole time. And so it's really fun when you can do like these kinds of podcast exchanges where you're like, hey, I'm going to put you on my podcast. I'll go on your podcast. And a much wider spectrum of people get to hear your message that way or focus on your mission, which is cool. So, folks, that's it. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you guys next Monday. Bye-bye. Get to the right